Last year, Marysville High School was introduced to a new staff member working along with Mr. Smith, the communication arts teacher, and also running the auditorium. Today we have Mr. Buckley, the technical director of the auditorium. We will be asking him a few questions about his job. Students who are not in Comm Arts don't really know what you do here, so can you give a brief description of your job?
Yeah, absolutely. So my job is kind of twofold. I'm the communication arts assistant teacher, so I help Mr. Smith up here in the TV studio and help you guys get set up for stuff that happens here. And then I'm also the performing arts center manager. So anything that happens down in our school auditorium is my responsibility, whether that happens during the day or after school, whether it be band, choir, even presentations and stuff. That's all on me.
Cool. So what was your previous job and how does it compare to here?
Okay, so my previous job, I was the Performing Arts Center technician for East China schools. So it's kind of like if I had an assistant here, that was my job for East China. And so that really, it helped me kind of get the groundwork for what I was going to do here, at least for the performing arts end. Coming into the TV studio and stuff, that was a whole brand new experience for me.
Yeah. So what is it like working with Mr. Smith and the students in his class?
It's incredibly rewarding. Like I kind of just said, like I had no broadcast experience before coming here, but I've learned so much, and it helps that there's a lot of kind of overlap between theater and broadcasting and stuff. We're working with scripts, we're talking about microphones and stuff, so it's been helpful for me that I had that background, but Mr. Smith's great to work with, and you guys are all super on top of things, so.
Yeah. And so what really goes into running the auditorium?
It's a lot. There's so many different components of it, like sound, lights, there's a stage management aspect of it. There's a lot going on, and you know, I'm just one guy, so I always try to make sure that when I get set up for events and stuff that I've tried to consolidate everything that I can, that I've planned so much that if anything were to ever go wrong, that I have contingencies that I can really quick get into the next thing.
Yeah. So besides coming into work every day, do you have to come after hours when the auditorium is being used?
Absolutely. So there are the occasional events, like if Mr. Dusso or Mr. Martin want to like have a rehearsal or something outside of school, they're trained in kind of the basic use of the auditorium, the lights and stuff, so they can be in there without me. But anything other than that, I am like the direct supervisor for the auditorium, so.
Yeah. So would you rather prefer working in the auditorium or the studio?
I'm actually pretty happy with the balance that I found right now. I'd love to see our performing arts programs grow and to warrant me being down there more often. But I also value the program up here and think that it deserves, you know, its due dedication and such. So I'm happy with the balance, but would love to see both of these programs grow.
Yeah. So do you enjoy working with the students, or would you prefer to work with adults more?
I love working with students. It's so great to see you guys come from when you walk into, you know, a new classroom and a new subject, and to just see you grow into that line of thinking. And then adults are, you know, it can be equally rewarding because they usually will come to something with a wealth of experience, but also with that there can be some occasional baggage of just, okay, like I'm a young guy, like I'm only 24, and so there's certain, you know, expectations or whatever where an adult walks in and I look as young as I do about what I do or do not know.
Yeah. And so what college did you attend, and would you say it prepared you for your current line of work?
Yes and no. So I actually went to school at Oakland University and got a Bachelor of Music Education and a minor in theater. So the music education helped me prepare for working with students and teaching in that aspect of it. And then the theater helped with the stuff that I do down in the auditorium. But outside of that, it was actually my job at East China, and the Performing Arts Center manager there, Dave Simpson, is really who I owe me having this job to, because he has such a wealth of information. He's such a nice guy, and just super knowledgeable about everything. Even now, if I have a question about something down in the auditorium that I don't know, I call Dave Simpson because he's the guy that knows everything.
Yeah. So what sparked your interest to pursue a career in this line?
It's kind of funny because, I got a degree in music education, so I wasn't really expecting to, end up in a TV studio.
Yeah.
But it just kind of grew out of wanting to be able to manage performing arts centers and to be able to do that theater art and stuff. And so it's wonderful for me because my job is so varied. Like, yes, I have things to do in the evening, but also, there's sets to be built for the senior play and for the musical. And yes, the orchestra shell's got to go in, so I got to bring that in. And then there's also, hey, I've got to design the lights for the show. And it's all just really, it's just fun, honestly.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah. So if someone has an interest in a career like yours, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them to start now. And what I mean by that is just look for opportunities for what you want to do. When I was in high school, the AP class craze was starting, but I only took one AP class, and it was AP Literature, because I felt it would help theater. Because I knew by the end of my high school that I wanted to do something with music and theater. And so I devoted a lot of my time in high school to that. Like, I think it was 4 hours of music classes my senior year, just so that when I went into college that I'd be ready to go for that. And then really the only after school thing that I did was theater. So in my high school we did between 3 and 4 productions every year, and so I was involved with every one of them in some way, shape, or form, whether it was on stage or backstage.
Thank you, Mr. Buckley, for answering a few questions and showing us what you do here at Marysville High School. Thank you for tuning in to M6, your hometown station.